April 10th, 1912. A marvel of engineering, a floating palace, the RMS Titanic set sail on its maiden voyage. But just 4 days later, it would meet its tragic fate, becoming one of history's most infamous disasters. How did this luxury megastructure, built with the finest craftsmanship of its time, sink so quickly? What engineering flaws doomed the unsinkable ship? Could this disaster have been prevented? And what secrets still lie at the bottom of the ocean, hidden for over a century? Let's uncover the truth behind the Titanic's doomed voyage. The Titanic's journey began in Southampton, England. Its next stops, Cherbourg, France, and Queenstown, Ireland, were brief but crucial, as more passengers embarked on their fateful voyage. With 2,224 people on board, the ship set course for New York, unaware of the lurking danger in the Atlantic. The Titanic was one of 3 Olympic-class ocean liners, sisters to the RMS Olympic and the HMHS Britannic. Built by Harland and Wolff for the White Star Line, these ships were designed for both luxury and endurance. The Olympic had a relatively long career of close to 24 years. But Britannic met its own watery grave in 1916, hitting a mine. It was the Titanic that had become the most infamous. The Titanic wasn't just a ship, it was an icon of luxury. At 882 feet long, with opulent first-class suites, an extravagant grand staircase, and even a heated swimming pool, it was designed to be a floating city. The first-class accommodations rivaled the finest hotels, featuring gold-trimmed dining halls, Turkish baths, a squash court, and even a Parisian cafe. The ship's lavish interiors, inspired by the Ritz Hotel, showcased elegant wood panelling, crystal chandeliers, handcrafted furniture, and a gymnasium. Even the second-class and third-class accommodations were well furnished, offering comforts unheard of on other vessels of the time. The ship's structure boasted a double-bottom hull and 16 watertight compartments, making it appear indestructible. But beneath this grandeur, fatal design flaws lurked. The fate of the Titanic was tied to key individuals. Captain Edward Smith was a seasoned mariner with over 40 years of experience at sea. Regarded as one of the most respected captains of his time, he had commanded numerous White Star Line vessels before taking charge of the Titanic. Throughout the sinking, Smith remained calm and composed, issuing crucial orders to evacuate as many passengers as possible. He was on his final voyage before retirement, and his last known moments were spent on the bridge, upholding the age-old maritime tradition of going down with his ship. J. Bruce Ismay, the managing director of White Star Line, was one of the most controversial figures of the disaster. Some claim he urged the captain to increase Titanic's speed despite iceberg warnings, while others argue this was a baseless rumour. When the ship was sinking, Ismay managed to board one of the last lifeboats, a decision that would tarnish his reputation. He survived, but lived the rest of his life under scrutiny, facing immense public backlash for not adhering to the women and children first rule. Thomas Andrews was a British businessman and shipbuilder who was managing director and head of the drafting department of the shipbuilding company Harland and Wolff in Belfast, Ireland. He, the chief designer of the Titanic, was on board to oversee the ship's maiden voyage. As the ship began sinking, he moved swiftly through the decks, urging passengers to wear life jackets and head for the lifeboats. Witnesses recall Andrews tirelessly assisting others, showing no concern for his own safety. His last known sighting was in the first-class smoking room, staring at a painting of a ship on calm waters. Could the Titanic have stayed afloat longer? Engineers today believe that had the ship's bulkheads been higher, or if the iceberg had struck head-on instead of scraping the side, it might have survived the night. But with water spilling from compartment to compartment, the ship's fate was sealed. Almost 5 compartments were breached. Allowing an estimated 400 tons of water to rush in per minute. As the bow filled, the weight imbalance caused the ship to tilt forward dramatically. Eventually, the immense stress caused the vessel to split into two. The stern rose nearly perpendicular to the ocean surface, before plunging down into the abyss. The tragedy wasn't just in the sinking, but in those left behind.
God Almighty.
As lifeboats drifted away, passengers in the freezing waters screamed for help. Among them was Second Officer Lightoller, who clung to an overturned lifeboat until dawn. Eva Hart, only 7 years old at the time, would later recall the chilling cries of those perishing in the cold.
There wasn't any panic until the lifeboats left, and then there was panic galore. We were down on the ocean. We could hear them running about on the decks and screaming. You can imagine people came up from their cabin, went onto the deck, no lifeboat, tearing around the other side. That's when the panic was there. And we rowed away, and I didn't close my eyes at all. I saw that ship sink. And I saw that ship break in half. Because our lifeboat was so full, so overfull, the officers called all the boats together and transshipped some of us. 1 in that boat and 2 in that and 3 in that, and I got separated from my mother. And that was the most terrifying thing to happen to a child. The rescue of people from lifeboats in mid-ocean is quite a terrifying thing. I don't know whether the word is right, a hatch in the side of the ship where the luggage used to be laid. And they threw down rope ladders, and people like my mother and other grown-ups had to climb up in mid-ocean up a swaying rope ladder, which she said was the most terrifying thing.
So many warnings, so many chances to change course. Could history have been rewritten? If only the lookouts had binoculars. If only the ship had slowed down. If only the lifeboats had been filled to capacity, the Titanic's story might have been one of survival, not tragedy. The Titanic remains one of the most haunting tragedies in maritime history. Its story continues to captivate generations, reminding us of the price of human ambition and the relentless power of nature. Today, strict safety measures ensure that no ship sails without enough lifeboats. Advanced radar and iceberg tracking keep modern vessels out of danger. The Titanic was lost, but from its wreckage, the future of maritime safety was born. If you found this journey through history fascinating, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more gripping documentary.